Good afternoon. I will present our research project that started in my university, that is Federal University of Goiás in Brazil. It's about open science and management of traditional and scientific knowledge. We have Indigenous Higher Education Center, that it's called Takinahakỹ Center. And we are starting to implement research data management of indigenous data that are produced, indigenous and scientific data that are produced in the scope of this center. This center is a higher education, and we have approximately 300 students. And we have an undergraduate course, and we're going to have a master in the future also. And we attend students from 5 states of Brazil. And the students belong to about 31 different ethnic groups. And we have a steering committee to attend the students and that is managed by professors of these centers. And the students' research we have basic disciplines, matrix, that it's about pedagogical and transdisciplinary principles of intercultural education. And we have natural science and mathematics as a topic of study, cultural science and language science. And the thematic axis of the courses are indigenous education and school education, environment and self-sustainability, language policies and bilingual education, art, tradition and the market, indigenous policies, intercultural and indigenous movements. And so this project main goal is to improve the capacity of indigenous students to effectively manage and safeguard the records of traditional and scientific knowledge they generate during their work on the undergraduate course. The course is the degree in Intercultural Education at Takinahakỹ Center for Indigenous Higher Education at Federal University of Goiás. This course is for them to become teacher in their groups, their tribes. And specific goals of our project is to propose strategies to encourage indigenous students to design integrated protocols for managing their data and information guided by CARE principles, enable the use of innovative technologies related to data sharing and traceability within the scope of our university, research data repository that uses Dataverse software, to build a conceptual modeling and technological implementation of collection of data generated within the scope of the Takinahakỹ Center, considering the CARE and FAIR principles. The first definitions was decisions that the decisions will be made separated by student steering committees managed by professors that are divided by ethnic groups. The committee definitions are according to the university decisions and ethnic groups contexts. We're going to use local context labels and notices in our institutional data repository, and we plan to use the labels and notices in our scientific publication repository also. And the protocols for this research data management implementation is based on CARE principles. And so notices and labels will cover basic general aspects and specifics according to the committees. The steps of the project are, the first one is the project is being evaluated. We are in the beginning, and the project is being evaluated by our ethical institutional committee. We are planning to have after that some meetings with professors and the students of the center. And we are planning to realize initial diagnosis of students and materials to identify the kind of materials that they are generating, the types of archives, and other kind of assessment that we are going to do. And protocols design. and training activities related to all these informations. Then we are planning to design local context notices according to our technology repository, the collection design, and dataset designs also, including metadata. And then we are going to do the collection of the indigenous data. And after the final, it's going to be indigenous collection validation and publication of data and training activities in the end. This is some examples of kind of materials that we've discovered in our first diagnosis. We have texts, we have images and sounds. And so also what we've discovered is that the majority of materials are totally in the indigenous native languages. The majority of materials have abstracts in Portuguese. Few materials are totally in indigenous native language in Portuguese, that it's our native language in Brazil. Necessity of establish publication patterns for students' final projects, aiming to publish them. The methodology is bottom-up approach, multiple case study, based on the student steering committee managed by the professors, and experimentation cycle. And we plan to develop a proof of conceptual, initial conceptual model based on all these aspects that we are considering. Care principles, explicit definitions of all involved roles in opening up data, training for students, professors, and other actors involved, fair principles, and creating collections in the repository. And our next steps are the indigenous diagnosis, as we did the material first diagnosis, protocols, definitions by students divided by steering committees, and continue with knowledge production diagnosis. That's it. Thank you.